everybody. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time it is for you where you are. Don't mind the camera, my tripod's a little drunk. No, a little too drunk, hang on. I mind. Let's see. A little down, a little that way. Just whatever you do, don't fall off the desk. Nope, too far down. Hey, you guys. Don't mind. If you could see it, you would be concerned. Let me just say that. If you saw the view I was looking at right now, you would be worried. I want to thank, let me see here, Holy Smokes Saga with a 44-month resub. Thank you very much. Woo, time flies. It sure does. Fossil Streams with a 12-month resub. Happy 1 year. Appreciate it very much. JG Britt with 31 months. Hazel, I've now started my new job this week. Congratulations. New hours mean I should be home in time for all of your streams. Excellent. And Kyle Nightingale with a Night Glade with a 4-month resub. Appreciate it, guys. Let me see. This one here. This one here. Oh, World of Warcraft. That's important. That's relevant. Oh, and I think maybe I can make it a little quieter. Let me close the window. Just reach over my crispy, crunchy fern that I need to replace with something less thirsty. You could take a pic. I could. I won't. You don't need that kind of heat in your life. You know what you need in your life is Squidgy in this transmog. Have you seen her? 35 degrees outside. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That sucks. Heatwave in Ontario gave me the perfect excuse to play WoW. Watch Hazel. Good afternoon. Cool transmog. We put this together during Galacrass, I think, last week on stream. Well, we were in Heroic Siege of Orgrimmar, and I was clearly highly invested. Very committed to the goings on. I flung an earbud onto the floor. Where'd it go? No, the other one fell out. Hang on. I'm gonna go under. This is the problem with when everything you buy is blue and you've got blue earpods on a blue carpet. Okay, alright. Keep it together. How is Gilmore Girls? I haven't watched it yet, but Netflix has now changed its tack to trying to recommend me Gossip Girl, which starts with the same 2 letters, so it may or may not be the same thing. I haven't watched that either, but it's they're working on me. Let's reload, so maybe the week aura works. Save it for the new office tour. Hope you had a good weekend. Finished remix, all vendors. Now I have one of every class at level 70. The only thing I didn't farm is the green weapon RNG drops. Not sure I will. Yeah, that's fair. I also haven't decided yet what level of my life I want to give to that. I don't know. I wasn't going to do world bosses today, but if I'm right at it... No, you know what? That's a trap. I'm not doing world bosses today. My main goal today is bronze. I need somewhere in the neighborhood of 138,000 bronze to finish everything, and I want to see how much of that I can get done today. So that means not worrying about the world bosses, just daily quests, daily queues, and then heroic raids. And we're just going to start ASAP. That's the worst girl. You prefer Gilmore to gossip? Do they gossip on Gilmore Girls is the question. Love the Dragon Dig transmog. Goes really well with the antiseptic bandage shirt. Do I have all the... I have all the quests. Excellent. Okay, alright. So ready. Yeah. Dungeons. I know I need to buy normal raid transmogs and 2 more toys off the vendor. I was going to do the toys last, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe I save up for them next just to get them done. Because, like, if I somehow mess up and I don't get all of the sets off the set vendor, I can, like, farm those pieces later. Those are not remix exclusive things. And I guess the toy isn't either, but I'm much more likely to go back and get, like, a random Throne of Thunder set than I am to go back and try to get a... What is it? The Kiln? Eternal Kiln? Yeah, Eternal Kiln for 50k and then the warning sign. The gastropod shell has turned out to be well worth its purchase price. There's a weak aura that checks to see... there's a weak aura that checks to see how you're doing on the vendor completion, and there's a link to it that is not working. Let me make sure my bot's turned on. Hang on a moment. Streamlabs help. Scrap your gems for the last stretch. I know I'm sitting on a bunch of legendary gems. I had some vague notions about sending them to alt, but clearly I'm not doing it, or I would have done it by now. Do I know this one? Have I got a noose? No. Oh, it's this one. Okay. I feel like I learned something about this one and then I immediately forgot everything there was to learn. I want to make sure my bot's turned on so we can share that link. It's not. I wonder why. Time's out sometimes, I guess. There we go. Should be better now. So how was your week so far? How's your Monday, Tuesday going? Should I go check in with Brewmaster Bo? We're supposed to be escorting him. My goodness. So rewatchable. I think I could watch it every year. Why do the vendor stats still appear in my ults if I've already bought them on my main? Everything about set collection in Remix seems to be annoying and inconsistent. Sometimes you can buy a set and you can learn it and it'll still be missing some pieces. Sometimes you can buy a set and then it'll say that you haven't, but you have, and then you try and use it, and then it'll be like, well, you can't use that, but you could refund it. I haven't found any consistent solution that makes it not make me want to poke my eyes out with little cocktail swords. Hang on. Arceus, let's go with that. Thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. There's no faster way to short circuit. You're definitely not AI generated streamer than including letters in or letter numbers in your name. It's like a CAPTCHA for people. Brain is due to implode from the amount of stuff I've had to learn and absorb in 3 days. Just like whenever I'm not watching something new. Oh, for the rewatch of Gilmore Girls. That has happened to me with sets. Could buy all the Mog sets, learn them, sell them back to the vendor for a full refund. Happened with 4 to 5 sets. I thought I heard something along the lines of that supposed to happen if you like had already bought it before. I don't know. I'm gonna stop pretending that I know anything because they've been messy. Messy. Give me great painkillers for injuries. Aw. Lift my computer chair, recline back with a heating pad. I wish you a swift recovery. Oh, you want to see Kitty Cat? Kitty Cat, do you want to see the people? Let me see. I am life storming, evidently. Oops. Fat finger. Also, where's my music? Where's the music of the remix? There it is. Hi, Kitty. How you doing? Been 5 weeks. Ready to be healed. Love an arcane on beta. There we go. I'm carrying too much. Too much. Okay, they won't let me carry anymore. It's been warm here, but not heat wave warm. With the next remix, I have learned I'm just going to stick with one character, especially if they keep the same rates. Maybe one extra, but I see the benefit of just getting one character fully upgraded first now. I mean, I know the people that were finished with all of their shopping well before I am now that didn't upgrade anything. They just power leveled a bunch of characters, used all that bonus bronze to buy the stuff, and then just had done with it. And they were done within the first week. So it's not that it's like not a valid path. But I've definitely, I think, had more fun getting this character sorted and upgraded. Plus, it's kind of nice being like, it's kind of fun being super powerful. Like, you still get, there's still places that you can show off if you want. I didn't really play a lot of remakes yesterday, but I did last minute decide to crank out my raid daily. And I was like, well, you know, I'm not going to do my heroic, I don't need my heroic lockouts because I'm not really raiding today anyways. I'm just going to jump into a normal toes to kind of help out, you know, some random normal toes group. And I did, and it was really fun because 1-476 in a normal raid pretty much just smokes the whole thing, so it goes really fast. You're raidly, if you will. I won't. Did I pick up any brew? I don't think I did. I think I meant to, and I think I have not. Hi, you gonna sit over there? Loving the infinite dragon with the flowing golden hair. Finally got to the 11 threads achievement. Am I missing something? Alt didn't start at 100% XP in the cloak. You really, it should have though. The only other thing I could think of is to try 12, but for 4,200. But I thought for sure it was 11. This bit isn't gonna last much longer, and there's still some mileage in it. Would you be able to suggest melee classes or specs that are not busy or input mashy? Chat's probably better qualified to help you with that. I'm not super familiar with melee. I play ranged mainly. Oh yeah? Oh, we're good. We did it. And by we, I'm pretty sure I just mean Flammy. Have you tried Elden Ring? I have played a little bit of it actually. I started it, I had this weird insanity where I started a bunch of games all at once. Like within like a month, I decided I was going to restart a few games that I already play, and then also get for the first time Baldur's Gate and Elden Ring. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't. But you know, the heart wants what it wants. And I made it a little ways in. I did not get terribly far. I don't know whether or not it would be a fun thing to stream. I've tried streaming Souls-likes before, and it's not usually something that my audience finds too entertaining. There's usually like 3 of you that are all about it, and then everybody else just kind of like pieces out until we start farming mounts again. Started playing Baldur's Gate. Yeah, I had a phase. It was a pretty short phase. I was pretty overwhelmed and confused. I had a hard time. I was confused. It's basically the short version of it. It was kind of fun, but it took me forever to do anything. And I just didn't understand a lot of what was fundamentally going on. I found the tutorials to be really lacking for somebody that didn't have any experience with the genre. I really want paladins for all. Greetings day. How are you doing? How are things? Might get the DLC. Alright. One of these guys. Are you still in your Palworld era? No. Palworld was a real hot flash in the pan for me. We played it for like, what, 3 weeks tops? Might have been 2 weeks. I was in and out of that one. I had a lot of fun. I would play it again sometime. I just don't have any immediate plans. It kind of happened in that same window where there was just a lot of games going on. And I just, you know, it was trying to fill a hole that I didn't have. 30 Celsius, loving it. Spending lots of time outside. Oh, toasty. That's starting to border on shorts weather. I was looking at my shorts in my little dresser, and I was like, is it time? And then I looked at the weather and I'm like, no, it's not time yet. Not here. Not yet. Kitty, are you all right? She's fine. She's like headbutting the desk to like mark it, I guess. But it just kind of sounds like she's like thudding her head on the desk like a, you know, I hate Mondays kind of situation. You good? Committed to my leggings lifestyle. How is Hazel? Hazel's pretty good.
Target
doing all
change.
Right. Whoa. It is your Monday. It is. That's true. I just didn't know that Kitty was taking it so personally. Oh, she's readopted her routine of coming into the bathroom to get her teeth brushed every night, and it's really cute because she'll wait at the gate for me to open it, and then she'll march right past the dog and go sit at her customary spot by the bathtub. And it's very sweet. You're so brave. And then Moosey comes up and sniffs you, and you just like hiss at him, and then he's like, sorry, and then he leaves. I'm so proud of you guys. Okay, we are spools, bronze spools. Not too focused on threads, but I'll take them if they give them to me. No harm in that. Sitting at 186k threads in my cloak, and I have 28k bronze on me. I need like 138 or so. So we're just waiting for dungeon keys to pop. Kira's the best girl. Are you dealing with a heat wave, or are you guys safe up there? We're okay here for now. The water, there's no heat dome right over where I'm at, and the water is pretty good at regulating temperature. It was like, it's been like 18 and sunny in the afternoons, which is still hot enough that my dog gets really hot if you try to walk him at like the hot part of the day. So we've been trying to like slowly adjust his schedule and then like carry water and stuff for him on walks because he heats up real quick in the sun. A swift swipe from Kira would help Moose lose interest. She's never hit him, and I don't think it's because she doesn't want to. I think it's because she's blind and she doesn't know how to aim. And I think that's part of the reason that we've been like very, very gradual with establishing boundaries, is because all of the reinforcement has to come from us, because she won't, like, she'll hiss, but he's like, oh, that's a funny word, I don't know what that means. And we have to help him understand what's, you know, what all the cues mean. Best thing about moving to Ottawa? Thunderstorms. It's in the 30s here today. I hate when it gets that hot. Yeah, I'm a hide from the heat kind of person. I'm a stay inside until the sun goes away, and let the burning of the earth die off before I peer out from underneath my hole. All the chores done in time for a Hazel Street? Unheard of. That's what I miss most about my hometown, Coast Breeze. I really hope that my next place, whatever it may be, has some kind of like a heat pump or something. Holding on to hope. See if we can do it without selling our soul to get there. So used to warm summers at 18 is almost too cold. That temperature during the weekend, wandering the festivals needed an extra layer. Find Victoria heat worse than here so far. Try to only go out after 8. Oh, I've been walking a lot. Been taking Mr. Moose all over and around everywhere. And it's good, but I'm so tired. He's doing good. He's a good boy. Although he had a big teenager day yesterday. He was just in his feelings, having an absolute mood where like we would be, all right, we would just be walking in a place that he's never been before. So he has no idea where anything is. And we get to an intersection and we're going right and he's like, no, I want to go left. And first of all, why? Second of all, no. But like, as soon as he realizes he's not getting his way, he's like, he grabs the leash and he's like, no. And sometimes you have to cross the street like that while the car that stopped for you to cross the street is just watching this dog like have a tantrum all the way across the street until the other side. And he'll calm down. Like you get him to do a couple commands and ask him to shake it off and he can calm down, but it's just like very dramatic. Just because. I live in Texas, it's weird. You really do get used to the heat after a while. I would need different clothes if I lived in that kind of heat. I would have to get out of my plush sweatpants. I basically wear my bed around with me all day these days. Do I need to leave the instance group? Probably. But it was nice. We wanted a big expedition and we walked by a bakery and then I waited outside with Mr. Moose while partner went and picked up a loaf of bread. It was nice. I feel like Moose could be the star of a dramatic sitcom. Needs its emotional support pizza. Oh man. He was hunting for bugs last night. We were taking him out for his, I know I talk about my dog, but whatever. We were taking him out for his last walk of the night, where it's just like a bathroom trip before bedtime. And it's kind of late, and I'm tired because I don't know it's bedtime until I get tired all at once. It's very dramatic. I'll be fine, and then all of a sudden it's like tired, and then it's a problem. So anyways, I'm trying to like get through this last little walk of the night so that he can use the outdoors and then go to bed. And it's always a little bit of a thing because like you got to kind of walk him up and down the street a bit for him to do this. He's trained me very well in that regard. And he'll get distracted by everything ever in the meantime. And his new thing is he'll hunt for bugs. Like he'll find a little patch of grass and he'll kind of like listen. He'll perk his ears all the way up, which is really funny looking because he's got huge ears like a bat. And he'll just listen and then he'll go bam, and he'll try to like smash him with like his paws or his nose. And he's having a grand old time. It would be really cute if I wasn't like trying to go to bed. And it's really hard to get him to leave the bugs alone and come inside. Grumpy old vet, thanks for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. Grew up in Houston. Now I'm guessing that's Southwest Florida. Hate summers. All yuck. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, at least in dry heat, your sweat can help you cool down, and like misting can help you cool down. When it gets too humid, that it stops working, and then you're in trouble. Okay, got an extra daily to turn in. These are good. I love Remix, but I'm excited I'm getting towards the end of it. I'm feeling like I've kind of seen it. Oh, there we go. I feel like I had a good pace of like it felt satisfying to be upgrading for as long as we were upgrading gear. And then now that I'm done, I feel like I got to spend like a couple weeks sort of showing off and being all big and strong and like farming bronze really fast, or what felt like really fast, like 100k a day. And now I'm now that I'm getting to the end of it, I'm kind of ready, I think. More or less. I don't think I'm going to do any more remix videos. I was looking into it and I was like kind of workshopping one, and it's too late. And also I don't know. It's not that good. Just need to finish it already. Still missing all the toys. Maybe I'm more picky. Upgrading was a little slow. That is a perfectly valid take.
Shockwave.
The real question is, how many of the how many of the transmogs, the weapon transmogs, am I going to feel like I need to get? Because there's a number, and it's more than none, and it's less than all of them. And I don't know which number it is. Don't even know how to strategize to get everything from Remix. Your notebook's floody running so fast. I do zoom. We are zooming. Okay.
4, 3.
I mean, the vendor stuff is fairly straightforward. It's just kind of crank out your bronze in whatever way feels agreeable to you. For me, I'm doing my 3 daily quests, my daily queues for random dungeons and scenarios, and then just raids on whatever difficulty you can do. I've been doing a full clear of heroic raids is quite strong bronze, and then if you're really committed, you can then do the other difficulties of Siege of Orgrimmar. That'll get you loads of bronze, but it's also like a really long day. I have a few transmogs to get, so I'll keep going for a bit longer. I should make an effort to see how bad it is to like grind out the weapon transmogs that I would need, that I could get on my hunter. Like if I have like a zone green that my hunter can farm, I want to try grinding them just in the open world or via rares or whatever it is. I want to try grinding them just to see what the kind of average amount of time it's going to be is to get those. Because if it's going to be awful, then I'm probably just going to give up on the whole business. Because I've remembered another limited time availability transmog source that I really should take another look at. And that is that gold vendor. I need to take another look at the gold sink vendor, the one that sold us the beetle. I need to take another look at that vendor and see what else is on it and if there's anything that I don't have that I want, because it times out in like August, I think. So it's not that much time left if I wanted to like farm gold to buy any of the transmogs on it. And after that deadline, those things will be BMOT only, which is going to make them a lot harder to get. So I need to just take a look and see if... I don't think I'm going to get all of it because I don't have that much gold. I don't really want to farm that much gold, especially for transmogs that I'm not going to use, but I owe it to myself to at least take a look. Dances with Wolves with a 21-month rate. So you do indeed love a good grind. Not that much gold yet. Gold making at the very tail end of an expansion is probably a really interesting proposition, because some things... that's a hard time to make gold depending on how much activity there still is in retail. You could have had that much gold. But what help is it to focus on what could have been? Indeed, doing it on hard mode, yeah. The important thing is that I got my pretty little beetle mount. That's the number one. Isn't it nice? I could ride into the War Within on this. Show those earthen what's up. You want to spend gold at the end instead of make it. How much gold is for everything there? It's a great question. How do you get the beetle mount? Spending gold at a vendor. How much was it? Was it like a mil? It doesn't say on it. I forget. Picturing the sound its wings making it in my head. I had to stop and wait for a hummingbird to get out of my way this morning. It was just like in the middle of the sidewalk, flying, hovering at like knee height, just kind of like checking things out. And I thought, if I keep walking at the pace that I'm walking and this hummingbird doesn't move, I'm going to kick a hummingbird. And that is not how I want to start my Wednesday. And I really thought it would be more afraid of me, but it was not really concerned. I like waited for a minute. Short period where Tepid Versa was really profitable last week. Made 30k just on that. Looking at what could have been is useful if that situation is likely to happen again. The trick, though, is that this regret, it's not my regret. So it doesn't really matter if it happens again, because I'm happy with how things have turned out. I'm pleased with how I've allocated my time. I wouldn't change anything doing it again. You know, you can't live your life to what other people think you should have regretted. That's ridiculous. FOMO didn't get me. Ended up buying the Prismatic Bauble toy. We're restarting World Tour. Moksha Vaults, probably. And other 200k things lately. Partner and I were sitting on the steps outside. 2 hummingbirds had a dogfight that sent them darting right near our heads. Had to duck. It's exciting sometimes watching them like jockey for position at the hummingbird feeder. They'll get quite violent with each other. Speaking of which, I need to clean up my hummingbird feeder. I haven't done it. I watered my balcony plants, but I need to do the hummingbird feeder. Tea, tea. Which rom-com did you watch this week? What did I watch? Oh, Queen Charlotte. I'm not quite done yet. When I was reading discourse about the third season of Bridgerton, people were mentioning in passing that Queen Charlotte was really good. Usually in context of how disappointed they were with the third season of Bridgerton, as in, how could this thing have been like this when this other thing was so good? But the main takeaway that I got was I should watch Queen Charlotte, so I've been watching it. The last episode will make you bawl. Oh no. I'm watching that today. I'm not ready to cry. Lounging in a park on Sunday, butterfly perched itself on my elbow. Stuck in the same position for 25 minutes lest I become history's greatest monster. Between the butterfly and the ladybug last week, you're really princessing it up. I've never watched Wheel of Time. I've read the novels once. I've read the books. I probably haven't read the books enough times to be really annoying about, like, I don't think I'm a book purist. Yes. Finished the 6th book yesterday. Don't watch it. Like the Wheel Time Show, have not read the books yet, especially season 2. Yeah, I don't know. Fantasy TV shows, I feel like, are very hard to pull off. I don't know why that is. I don't know if my standards are too good, but I'm trying to think, fantasy TV shows, the last ones that I actually liked and like looked forward to watching. There's probably some obvious exceptions. Game of Thrones, obviously, the last couple seasons notwithstanding. Is there anything else that I've seen and liked? I'm kind of useless though. Like if I'm watching TV, I want to turn off brain and feel nothing and go and giggle. Like I read an interview, or I read a headline from an interview recently where Daniel Radcliffe said something about how all he watches are comedies and reality TV, and I've never related to anything harder. I don't want to watch heavy stuff. I've never seen any Lord of the Rings television shows. I've watched the films. I would say that's different. Struggle with TV shows based off books. I think I vaguely liked the Magicians TV series way back when. I don't think I watched all of it, but I liked it enough to pick up the books. And then I liked the books very much. I think those novels are excellent. Hazel, would you make your own TV series? Oh, let's hope not. I don't have the skill set for that. Based on chat. Oh, I don't know, man. High fantasy, elves, dragons, also sci-fi and the like. Yeah. 1 second here. Okay. I'm thinking about TV shows. Oh yeah, I tried to watch Outlander and I couldn't do it. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I'm terrible. I'm just not a good television watcher. We write the scripts for you. You do showrunnery stuff. I don't know what showrunners do. You could write about brain cells and how they're overrated. Think it's great there's so many story-based shows that are good. Just not for me. Want to watch Gordon Ramsay. Super addicted to Survivor right now. They run the show. I'm the showrunner of this show. There, I just got a promotion. Gave myself a new title. I went fishing. I went fishing on Monday. I was out doing errands, and then I knew I was going to be out, and I knew I was going to be, like, not super far from a lake. So it's like, you know what? After this errand, I'm going fishing. Like, I'm going to bring my fishing rod and my tackle and stuff, and I'm going to go to this lake, and I'm going to try and catch a big trout. And I did. I felt ridiculous because I went by myself because I had happened to run this errand on my own. My partner actually went fishing at the same time, just in a different place. So we were like texting each other. And I felt ridiculous because I had so much stuff with me. Like, fishing is not complicated. It's something humanity's been doing for a long time. You don't need a ton of stuff. And yet, to be out there, I'm like, okay, I have my bag that has my sunscreen and my extra layer and my snacks and my hand sanitizer and my lip balm. And then I'm going to have my tackle kit, and then I'm going to have my fish cleaning stuff. And then I'm going to need the snippers and the leader and all the... And then, like, the extra weights, of course, and then you gotta have your soft baits, and then you gotta have your actual bait, and then you're gonna do this and this and this, and then your landing net. And I like, got to my spot, and I laid all my stuff out, and I looked at, like, my single self surrounded by all of these things, and I'm like,
Run.
Someone's gonna judge me, and they're gonna be right. Scarlett, thanks for the 5-stream streak. Park Services came by a few times to talk to me, and I was so self-conscious. Snacks are required 100%. You want to know something real cute? And my partner packed me a PB&J sandwich. He made it for me in the morning, and he left it on the counter so I could take it with me so I could have a sandwich. If you're self-conscious, just don't be. I get weirdly self-conscious about my voice. Like, I don't know what voice I thought I should have had. I don't know if they were like, hey, are you catching anything? I don't know if I wanted to be like, yes, I've landed the sturgeon, but fear not, I've released it into the waters. I don't know what I wanted to sound like, but I felt like my voice was just like, no luck yet. Like, it's like Mickey Mouse fishing. And I was like, for some reason, maybe just because I was on my own, highly conscious of it. Nobody gave me a hard time or anything. It's beyond me how anyone can stand listening to me. Nice to have the right tool for the job when you need it. This is true. As it happened, I got like a ton of nibbles and bites in action, and it was very exciting. And all I wanted was to catch a big trout, or well, 2 big trout, and I wanted to bring them home and cook them up for dinner. But they kept getting off, or like not getting on. They were not properly, hook sets are not free. I was not landing any fish. And I like moved to a few different spots, and I eventually managed to actually catch a bass. I caught like a medium to small size smallmouth bass, and you're allowed to keep those. You're allowed to keep those here. They're invasive. They're aggressive. They like compete with local ecosystems. So it's not like a problem even if it's like a small fish to keep it. And I'm like, well, you know what I'm gonna do? So I'm gonna keep this fish, and I'm gonna cook it up for my dog. So I kept the fish, and then when I got home, I scaled it and I steamed it. And then I meticulously picked it off of all of the bones and picked through it with my fingers, make sure there were no bones in it, into a nice little dish. And then I gave it to Moosey, and he was so excited. He was licking that bowl for like a while. He was so interested the whole time that I was cooking it. Well, it was fun at least. I realized this year that I sound like my mother. So every year I get increasingly more like my mother, which for me is great because my mom's awesome. She's an excellent role model, and I love her very much. But I can see how it could be distressing walking clone of my mother physically. My mom has short hair like I do, and we have the same kind of curly dark hair. And I recently saw my grandparents, who hadn't seen me in a long time. They hadn't seen me since before I cut my hair. And they were quite, not spooked, but they're like, oh man, you look just like your mom did at that age. Like, it's a bit freaky. This is not Mythic right now. I'm not doing Mythic again. I've done Mythic once. That's good enough for me.
Target you.
Can we clip you saying you got a lot of action played out of context? Listen, whatever gets us on the map. Bronze. This tea's real good. Both surreal but kind of neat. Mm-hmm. But it was nice being out at the lake. I always forget how tired I get from fishing, because in my mind I'm like, I'm not hiking, I'm fishing, so I'm like stationary for huge parts of the time. But the thing I forget is that I tend to hike between spots, And then when I'm at a spot, I tend to walk up and down it, trying different areas with different lures. And then also, every time I'm moving, I'm bringing a bunch of stuff with me because apparently I do not pack light. So you're hiking around with like quite a bit of stuff on your back. And adds up, makes you hungry. That was nice. Mom used to have a magnet on her fridge that says, I turn into my mother, and I think about that magnet every day when I say bye-bye on the phone. I don't know if I always make it to bye on the phone. I think sometimes I just panic and I just go, thanks, and then I hang up. I don't have a boat, I'm shore fishing. Are we done? Where are we going now? Heart of Fear? Toes? Like anyway, thanks. Cheers. Job involves lots of phones. Inescapable for me. Maybe you should get one. I see people with their like pontoon boats and their fishing kayaks, and I would maybe one day really enjoy fishing in a fishing kayak. I saw the most phenomenal video from LL Bean. I was looking into fishing kayaks, not because I wanted to get one, but just because I was daydreaming about a life where I would one day get one. And it starts with this woman who just got a fishing rod, who's now my favorite person ever. And she's like, I love fishing and I love kayaking, but I don't know how to put the two together. And then she like invites another person on screen to like help teach it to her. But it was just the most perfect delivery that I'd ever seen. I enjoyed the entire thing. It made me want to go fishing with them. Take Moose on a boat trip. Daydreaming about getting a dog one day not that long ago. I feel like the dog thing just kind of happened to me. I know it was my choice and my decision and I researched it and it's my responsibility and it was like very much up to me, but I also kind of feel like it just kind of happened through me. Like I was channeling the spirit of somebody who was for sure getting a dog. You know? Every now and then something grabs a hold of me and I'm like, oh yeah, this is happening. And then sometimes it's getting a dog. Survival. Yeah. There we go. How do you bring fishing and kayaking together? Apparently, you fish from a fishing kayak. That's about the gist of it. Was this in 2003? We were talking about getting a dog for like a year. It takes this is an important one. You should think about it for longer than you think about
incoming.
Getting like a coffee maker. I knew I wanted to get another dog from pretty much the moment I moved out on my own and didn't have a dog. I just knew I wanted to wait for the right time when it made sense. Or when it made enough sense for me to get away with it. Still love that we got to see you get the call about Moose. I don't know if I ever clipped that as a highlight. I hope I saved it. I think it was before I was saving stream VODs. I still kind of can't believe they let me have a puppy. Such a good boy. Where's the boss? I was just sure that because I lived in an apartment that I wouldn't be they wouldn't let me have a dog.
3,
But they did.
2, 1.
And we walk him like 3 or 4 times a day, so he's doing all right. Oh, he's doing okay. Super common here. I feel like most people here don't, like there are houses with yards, and there are people that live in them. But there's dramatically more people live in combined housing. And there's also kind of this problem right now where a lot of people, because of the rising cost of living and the rising cost of groceries and whatnot, they can't afford dogs, so people aren't adopting as much, and a lot of people that have dogs are giving them up because they're getting forced out of their housing and they can't find housing that would allow them to keep the dog. They can't afford vet care for the dog. They can't afford, dogs are expensive, and also everything's expensive, and it's gotten really expensive really quickly. So I think that it's also just a bit of a struggle to put animals in homes in the first place. How do you almost get finished with remix vendors? How many raids per day? In the last week or two, I've been doing all of them, but then for the first month, I did none of them. I don't have a super clear answer for you. It started to go a lot faster once I started doing heroic raid clears, because you can get over 100k bronze in a day from just doing your dailies and then the round of heroic raid clears. Morning, everyone. I decided that I'm going to try and level one of each healer class in Remix, try them out, and see if it may be something I want to do in retail. Fun. Fun. Once I'm done with Remix, I want to start spending more time on beta. And I want to start getting a feeling for what kind of things I want to focus on. I feel like the next expansion is coming so fast. I feel like it's all happening all at once. I'm not ready. It's way too fast. It'll be good though. Have you seen Oracle Priest? Yeah, I've done some testing as it. It's fun. It's something that I'm gonna like more once I have more I live stormed oopsies. It's something I'm gonna like more once I have more practice with it on live. And I've actually been playing it for a while. Because it's definitely more involved. And there's a tiny bit of a learning curve on it. Because right away, you're not going to immediately remember what all the different icons mean. And using them effectively is going to take a bit of practice. But I'm looking forward to it. Whoa! Huge raid! Welcome, everybody. I hope you had a great stream. Yo! My goodness. That's flattering and terrifying. Welcome, guys. We're just remixing. We were remixing. We were talking about War Within goals. We were talking about dogs. What's up? How you doing? Happy Wednesday. Heading to Heart of Fear, I think. Let's use the Nostrum voucher. Dogs? Woof woof. 4 paws. Floppy ears. Level guy was top tier. Thank you. Aw, cheers. Glad you liked it. Talking dogs. Any flabbies in the chat? Sup-grar. I am going to Heart of Fear. Is a flabby in the raid. How do you think we're getting through this so fast? Where's details? There he is! Listen, I'll let him out of my basement. I don't know. Maybe next year. I need him. He's a business expense. Is that flabby in the room with us right now? Listen, you can quit healing arena, but you can't let the melee see the light of day until you're sure for sure you're done with them. Just tell him I miss him and tell him I said raindrop. I'll make sure he gets the message. Alright, how are we doing? Let's check our week aura. We are sitting at... Where is it? That one. 55k of 158k needed. So we need, in a stunning display of on-stream math, approximately another 100k bronze. I have a feeling that I'm going to be doing some Siege of Orgrimmar today, because there's no reason that I need to finish this today. I could absolutely do more tomorrow. But I don't wanna. That's no fun. Yeah, I have a link for that week art right here. Yeah. I did not make it, but I like it very much. It's good stuff. You need a house so that Flabby can have a larger basement. You can put a Red Bull machine down there. Red Bull machine? Red Bull fridge. You furnish it with a Red Bull machine, but it's a vending machine. He has to pay me for them. Tried to heal a heroic. My lord, I was being killed with 2 million damage, 1 kills from the bosses. Like a heroic raid or heroic dungeon remix? How do you track the ensembles in remix? With great difficulty. I'm using Can I Mog It, which seems very helpful. Sometimes I have to like reload or like give it a minute for it to track properly, and then I scour through the vendor one at a time looking for appearances that I'm missing, and then anytime I think there's something that I might be able to learn something from, I'll buy it, and then I'll try to learn it, and then sometimes it learns it and I've got a new appearance, and then sometimes it's like, no, you actually don't need any of that, and then you can refund it. It's a nightmare. Raid remix. A lot of times it's just a matter of getting more geared people into the group. The heroic raids get a lot easier once you've got a handful of 450 plus. Do you think they'll put the unique weapon transmogs on the bronze vendors later? I hope so. I don't think so. I think it's gonna get kind of forgotten about and lost in the
Phase change.
in the ever rushing tide of other things going on in WoW, including, oh man, I live streamed way too late. This got a cooldown back. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get to it. I hope they do. I really hope they do, but I think that they're gonna get kind of consumed with things going on with like the War Within release and everything. Finally sinking my teeth into remix. Is there a good way to handle the loot overload? Just use and or scrap it. Use and or scrap it. For a hot minute, I was using an add-on called, what was it called? It basically gave me a button on my UI, equip recommended gear. It gave me a button on my UI that would equip the highest item level of gear. And that was kind of sort of helpful for leveling when you have a ton of gear in your bags and you don't really care about optimizing secondaries yet. And all you want to do is just put on the biggest item level piece of gear. Because your gems are going to scale based on the item level of the piece that they're in. So if you're leveling, you're going to get more mileage if you can put your best tinker gems into your highest item level pieces, etc. So there's some value towards just putting on your biggest item level pieces. But once you're at endgame, then you want to be looking for pieces that have good secondaries for you, or just secondaries in general instead of tertiaries like leech or speed or anything. Ultimately, you want to try and find epic pieces that have secondaries and aren't holding on to things like avoidance or leech or speed, because you're not really going to need those by the time you get to endgame. But it all depends on how far you need to take your gear. You certainly don't need to gear all the way up to get everything. Two good guys. Hurt my soul to see people dying and looking up what's happening. Almost have ensembles and arsenals supported. Stack speed, because raid seems so fast. Just be mindful that once you get 49% speed from speed, you are capped on it and you won't benefit from it anymore. I think it's about 5,000 speed rating. After that, it's completely useless. That's as much as they'll let you do. Leech sets sound fun. How much leech do I have? I must have some incidentally. 24%. At a certain point, you're just going to have some on your cloak, and you're not really going to need more. Remix decides that I'm in infinite need of avoidance boots and pants. Forever. No other stats. How much speed? 49% extra movement speed from speed is the cap. My theory is that it takes 5,000 rating to get there, but I'm not 100% on that. I would not bet my life on it. Mastery, I think it was 245. Started messing around with more gear. There's an add-on called True Stat Values that can give you an idea of secondary stat caps. It's showing me like my penalties, my lost rating and stuff here. At a certain point, you're going to be kind of sort of capped on everything, and you can still benefit some from stats, and I kind of stop understanding how it works, but I think the moral of the story is if you get your cloak up big enough, then it doesn't super matter anymore. Am I going the right way? I think I'm going the right way. What else did I get up to over the weekend? I told you about my fishing trip. I told you about the little bass that I steamed for my doggy. That was very fun. I felt like kind of embarrassed. I was cleaning it and this woman comes kayaking by and she's like, "Oh, you caught a little guy." And I'm like, "Yep." Sure did. That's me. But, you know, sometimes the big fish just start biting. I think that's sweet. Yeah.
Beware.
That's nice. there was a older man that came by who had a fishing gear as well that was like kind of looking for the spot. And he saw I was fishing there. He's like, oh, hey, you getting lucky? And I'm like, no, not really, just a little smallmouth. And he's like, hey, you caught something. And I once again was like, yep, thanks. And I think that he wanted this spot, but I didn't say anything. I didn't like invite him to fish or move or anything like that. It was a pretty small spot, and I didn't know this guy. I like to be happy for others. My experience, however they can. Yeah, that was nice enough. Speaking of dogs, need to take ours out for a walk in a heat wave. Oh, that's no fun. Be careful. You know all the details. You don't need me to tell you, but you know, water. Check the sidewalks kind of thing. My last dog was small, and when the sidewalks got hot, if I noticed that they were like too hot for him to walk on, I could just pick him up and carry him home. And I need to be more proactive with this dog because I cannot pick him up and carry him anywhere. I could if needed. I don't know, like try and fireman's carry him somewhere, but we're not making it very far. Where am I going? I guess it depends on if they're going to do Throne of Thunder or if this group is done. Looks like people are done. Or at least one person left. One other person's going to Throne. Roads and grass. Hot dogs. Bring a sled. Moose sled. Don't mind me just towing my dog. That would be helpful for whenever he decides that he doesn't want to move anymore. Although I'm pretty sure if I had a sled for him, he would be like, listen, okay, I'm going to get on the sled and I'm going to bring a big ol' stick to chew on. And then you tow me along to wherever it is you want to go. And then I can just lay here, enjoy some sunshine, and chew on my stick. Any recent pictures of moose? Oh, I must have some. Let me poke around and see while we wait for Throne of Thunder here. See if I've got a good one that I can share. I took a little video of him. I wonder if it's it'll play first of all. And then I need to make sure it doesn't have anything in it that I can't show. Is that my money? Looks good. Yeah, okay. You guys can see this one. There you go. This is my doggy. That's my buddy. That's his favorite squeaky toy. He's had that since he was a little baby. He came with that from the shelter. He throws. What are you gonna do about it? That's my pup. Hi. Oh, I should pick up... Oh, no, I don't need to do it anymore. I was going to say I should pick up the Lei Shen Palace key while I'm over there, but we don't need it, and I also can only barely afford it. Don't have a video of him doing a backflip. I could maybe look for a video of him doing zoomies, which is pretty close, but no actual backflips. Walk my dog. All I want to do is lie down and enjoy baking in the sun. You guys will be horrified to know that I use the hot dog pun consistently whenever Moosey decides to just park himself in the sun. Listen, buddy, you're gonna bake. We're gonna have to put you on a bun. He doesn't know that I'm cringe because he's a dog and he doesn't speak English, but my neighbors sure do. Are you gonna do all achievements? No, I can't imagine that I will. I think I have all achievements that give stuff, like titles, toys, appearances. Like I have the meta achievements and I have the title achievements. I've got Claw of Eternus and I've got Paragon of the Mists. As far as I know, there's nothing else doing. I need to get a video of him like sniffing the cat or sharing a treat with her. I have videos of it, but they have my partner in them and he's we're being private. Achievements that are the hardest are the rares and quests. Yeah, Paragon of the Mists is for doing Mythic Siege of Orgrimmar. It's not bad at all if you can get into a full 476 team. Then it just kind of feels like doing Heroic Siege. Maybe it takes a tiny bit longer, but you only really need to do it once. It doesn't give you any more bronze. If I'm going, I should probably like... This is the best way to get around. I'm gonna forget. No. I'm gonna forget that I don't have total immunity to fall damage eventually after Remix is over, and I'm going to die, and I'm not gonna be the only one. There's gonna be a bunch of us people that got really used to Remix, and we're just gonna be crinkly, crunchy piles of bones like dry noodles. Just littering the bottoms of mountainsides. Still need to do Mythic Siege the last few days off the grind. Yeah, sometimes a break's nice. At least you have Levitate. Oh, sure. Lots of classes have ways you can survive. Hunters can disengage before the end. Warriors can heroic leap down. Demon Hunters and Evokers have wings. But I will say that having something that can save you from certain death and using that thing, different things. I'm real good at not using the one thing that could have saved my life. If you and your partner ever decide to include him, I hope he's initially on stream as a mysterious hand coming in or a face half covered. A la Wilson. We just gotta give him a big giraffe mask or something. Rogues can shadow step if an enemy's nearby. Outlaws can grapple. Yeah, I can splat on my face into smithereens with the Levitate unused. Or, better yet, cast, but like on an NPC that I had targeted from up on the mountain. I literally had to make a macro that cast Levitate specifically on myself so that I would stop trying to levitate NPCs as I was jumping off of cliffs. Yeah, no, the Tinker makes you immune to fall damage, but I'm saying that after Remix is over and we don't keep the Tinkers, that's going to be kind of a rude awakening. We don't have a Wind Reaver Tinker gem in retail, exactly. Yeah. I'm also going to have to get used to walking around at normal pace again like a peasant. What is this walking speed that's not mount paced? For a moment I thought about jumping off there being like, bridge skip, wrong bridge. Joke's on you, Druid with instant flight form. I used to, when I was playing my Druid a lot, have the occasional dream where I was my Druid and I was taking off in flight form, but in the dream you're actually flying. And it was kind of trippy because in the context of the dream, I can feel myself like mashing the space bar, which is how I get off the ground and like get air. But also I am the bird. It's a very trippy kind of paradox. And I've had them a few times. It's not that regular, but if I ever could lucid dream, that would be a good one to pull up because it's pretty fun. Arguments in favor of playing Druid more often gives trippy dreams. Why did I Lifestorm? Who am I trying to impress? Repair costs are going to be annoying. Transmog costs. We're going to have to pay for transmog. Ugh. Or I just wear this forever. Had it after I've been raiding Mythic with my guild. I'll still be trying to maintain my ebb and might in a semi-sleep, semi-awake state. I had flash concentration dreams just like that. I had dreams about my specifically my weak aura. In, what was it, Shadowlands Season 3, the flash concentration legendary. I was healing a lot of keys, and I had a weak aura that whenever my flash concentration had 5 seconds or less left, it would meow at me. Go meow. And I would dream about it. And in my dream, I'm like, oh man, I gotta press flash heal. I'm gonna lose my buff. Good afternoon, Hazel. Good afternoon, I'm Pure Range. I hope you're having a happy day. Oh, I do not miss flash concentration. Although I also couldn't really tell you what Holy Priest has been doing in Dragonflight. I've been playing it the whole time. You know. Don't really remember what I did. Something. Holy words. Makes sleeping so stressful. I was so happy this morning. I actually managed to sleep until my alarm and not wake up a bunch of times before my alarm. It was beautiful. I might have a future if I can keep doing that. When tanking gets smashed by things makes me happy. Gonna miss our season 3 4-tier bonus for Holy. As somebody that healed season 3 and 4, I should know what that is. I don't really remember. It's not the renew one, right? It's a different thing. Oh, it gives you bonus procs. That's right. You get these bonus procs of your holy words, so you can kind of do a bunch of them. That's right. It was all right. It was fine. It was kind of fun. That's living, and by living, I mean sleeping. I just know the first week that I tried to start getting up early, I was getting up like 4 or 5 times a night before my early alarm, so that the whole night was just ruined. It's like, I can't live like this. It's not working. You just gotta keep it up, I guess, long enough for it to not be exciting and novel and new. I walked by a cafe that had people working in it on their laptops, and I thought, maybe that one. Maybe I'll go there one day. What's the acceptable amount of time to remain in a cafe working after having purchased a beverage with a decent tip? Is it 1 hour? Is it 2 hours? 2 hours feels long. Does it? It probably depends on like how busy the place is and whether or not they encourage that kind of thing. 2 to 3 hours. Oh. Got screamed awake by my building's fire alarm being tested. Oh, I'm so sorry. That sucks. Sit there like you own the place. For context, if you're new here, I'm Hazel, and I am occasionally, what's the word? How do I want to describe myself? I don't know. Sometimes things are hard. There you go. There's something that happens to everybody. Sometimes things are hard, and I've been having trouble confronting the anxiety that I would need to confront in order to go and work outside of my home. And you might be like, well, Hazel, why do you need to do that? Just work in your office like a normal person. And I would say, yes. Good point. But sometimes it's really hard to focus, and the change of scenery does help. It's the library effect. Except the library doesn't really have tables. They just have chairs. Coffee shop on Yale's campus all day was okay. Anyone thought that we got to remix to get all the old gear? Because the cat of Old World's going to change during midnight? I have not thought that. Bought a can of water, sat in the local Waterstones reading for 2 hours. Working cafes 1 to 3 times a week massively improves quality of life. All right, as a veteran of this practice, I think I've probably asked you this before, but forgive me. What are your tips? What are your tips for remote working out of a cafe? Mind you, I've read all the WikiHow articles and stuff, so I'm sure I understand the premise. But in the spirit of over preparing, what do you got? Aside from, you know, don't fall asleep and tip the barista. Never seen you streaming before. Used to watch your Hero guides way back when. This is my time slot. I stream mornings. They're short, which is part of it. I only stream 9 to noon Pacific, and I do it Wednesday through Sunday. Slippers and a robe might not be as comfortable as you think. Duncan near my house guy goes full-on workstation warrior, takes up a double table with his gear. I saw online once somebody was sharing an image of somebody pulling up to a Starbucks with an iMac. And like popping it on the Starbucks table and plugging it in and everything. Like a big one, like a 27-inch. Not a MacBook, an iMac. And people were discussing whether or not that was an appropriate thing to do. Reason for which if you need power, some spaces are limited to spots with outlets. I don't even know if I need internet. Like I can work off battery and without internet and still get stuff done. Also get full later in the day too. Yeah, I guess I don't know what my concern is. I don't know what I think is gonna happen. I just don't want to inconvenience anybody or be in anybody's way or make anybody's day worse, I suppose. Yeah. Dip your toes in it. Bring the iPad, be ready to work for the duration of your beverage, then dip out. Yeah, I don't think I would stay for multiple hours the first time. I would probably go for like an hour, 45 minutes just to kind of, you're right, dip the toes in. But I suspect it would be good for me to get out of my house a little bit and do something productive and remind myself that I do have a job and that it would help me to do it. Are wild cats a concern around there? You mean like bobcats, or do you mean like domestic cats? Because yes to both. Not bobcats, but there was a cougar a couple neighborhoods away. Not this close to town though. A great conversation with my boss, who's been helping me manage anxiety curve professionally. Do things that make you uncomfortable, which is something I've been thinking a lot about since. It's good advice. My understanding is that the more you do something that makes you uncomfortable, the bigger the radius of your comfort zone becomes.
Beware.
So that you are able to like include more things in your repertoire. The hard part is that it sucks. And some days you're gonna have more gas for doing it than others. I think is the tricky thing for me, is figuring out which days are good ones to be pushing my boundaries and which days are let's just get through it and try not to implode kind of days. Cougars are great. They make you snacks. Top tier sentence.
Beware.
People will be not bothered by you. But what if, even if I shower and wear clean clothes, what if I'm secretly smelly somehow? I don't think I'm smelly. What if someone's just like really upset because they see what I'm working on and they're like, that's not a real job. Oh, yeah, no, I know I'm being ridiculous. I can hear it. I can hear it as I say it.
Beware.
Yeah. It is sometimes hard to figure out when somebody, like when you're really worried about people being upset with you, and then somebody is upset with you, it is sometimes really difficult to parse out whether there's something that you actually need to learn from and do differently there, or whether it's like a them problem. Because it's easy to be like, oh man, it's just everybody else's problem. But if you take that approach with literally everything, then you might be missing some chances to learn how to like actually be a cooperative human being in society. But then sometimes it really is just somebody having their own issues that they're projecting, and that you don't really need to take all that on. I struggle with this sometimes when I'm driving. If I get honked at while I'm driving, it's rough for me because I can't tell if it's someone who's just like road rage and driving really aggressively, or if I actually did try to do something stupid and I just don't know because I'm somehow not paying enough attention, even though I'm always paying attention. Not about the honking. It's like my dream in life to drive so perfectly that nobody ever has a problem with me, and I'm starting to think that maybe that's not realistic. How do you keep track of the items you haven't acquired yet? There is a WeCore that gives you a ballpark idea of how much you have left to buy off the vendors that I've been using, and then aside from that, I've just been kind of combing through the vendors looking with, can I mog it for things that I'm missing? Play some League, it'll help with that. Oh, man. It's equivalent to trying to please everyone. I don't know. "17, just started driving. Someone got out of their car at a red light to scream at me and no clue what I did to this day." I swear, as somebody with driving anxiety, that is the absolute worst thing, is trying to figure out, like, obviously road rage is like never okay, but trying to figure out if somebody is upset with you, if you actually, because like, and the stakes are so high when you're driving, because if you do something really wrong, it's extremely dangerous. People die. Like, there's a reason that it's so charged, and like I still struggle with that. Hates it when people are nice. Yeah. I don't, when people like will wave you through when they shouldn't, or like try to pass right away when they shouldn't. That's awful because it makes it unpredictable. That's very dangerous. Not like letting somebody into a highway when it's like stop traffic, but people trying to like, you know, yield right away via hand signals when not everybody in the situation can see it. Do you think it's worth it to get into Dragonflight at this point of the expansion? Thinking of buying the bundle. I've played since vanilla, haven't touched Dragonflight because of disappointment from Shadowlands and BFA. It depends on how prepared you want to be for the War Within, because at this point we are very close to the next expansion, and you could arguably just kind of wait for that one and play that. It's a question of, do you want to go in with, like, you know, how much time do you want to prepare? How much time do you want to kind of get characters, like, leveled and straightened out and sorted and whatever? Because you can do some Dragonflighty things before the expansion's over. There is time, but there's not, like, a lot of time. The Trading Post recolor sets are from the class sets vendor in the bazaar. You need to do achievements. There's 2 achievements. There's the Landfall achievement, and then there's the Isle of Thunder achievement. And you need one to unlock the arsenals, and the other one to unlock the ensembles. Shaman's not looking good. Been my main since forever. Decided to swap to Monk, but now I gotta redo everything, or it'll bug me. I don't have a pet. What? There we go. Lucky for me, most of my damage has nothing to do with my glass. Just Life Storm, Hailstorm, Searing Light, Lightning Rod. I'm sure my pet's on there somewhere. Eventually. Ronch, thanks for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. I always choose C tier specs to play. Gives me pure happiness when I have DPS S tiers. I think the big thing for me when choosing a spec, well, honestly, the big thing for me when choosing a spec is basically do I like the fantasy or the vibe, because the actual gameplay of it and how the buttons and cooldowns and everything fit together changes patch to patch, as does the performance of it. So I'm not willing to flavor the month hard enough to try to pick the absolute most optimal thing every patch. I'd rather just be like, I'm a priest, and then play priest for as long as I want to. So for me, it's mostly about the vibe. If it wasn't going to be about the vibe, though, it would be more about how fun does it feel to press the buttons and the actual output, especially when you're considering things that are still in beta, because things get tuned and retuned all the time. And even when they come out, they still get tuned and retuned all the time. There's, like, no balance meta that really lasts longer than a patch at most. For the most part. And it's true, even if you're playing like something that is not at the top of the meta, if you are paying attention and you put some effort in, you can outperform the vast majority of players that are playing the meta specs, except for some like real extreme circumstances, and it can be really fun to do that. Style over substance, need to vibe with class aesthetics. I think the part of what makes WoW appealing to me is this fantasy of having this character that you can identify with, and that you can identify with socially. When people are like, oh, hey, we need a priest for this key, let's ask Hazel. That idea of, A, I'm a priest, and B, somebody might need my help, is like the core center of the appeal. Same brain cell that says Mog makes me do more damage says I do more damage on druids because I like flowers. I once considered Mistweaver Monk. Seriously, mainly on the basis that I like tea and that they have mana tea. That was the whole reason. But it didn't stick because I didn't like the way the class plays well enough. There's never been a version of it that clicked with me. I like the hyper classic traditional style of here's your heals, they're called heal, they do healing, cast them on people kind of thing. It's not that there isn't more to Holy Priest than that, but I like the basic underpinning of it being a very reactive direct heal kind of style. Plus, you know, glitter, gold, sparkles, etc. I'm impressed that we made it through, what, 2 seasons as a preservation evoker? That was pretty different. That was out there for me. Made a reveal video and everything. And wasn't that fun? And like a year and a half later, we're still talking about it. I could do another one to reveal the completely unsurprising result that I'm gonna be a priest. Why did I switch off Evoker? Honestly, I already kind of wanted to, and I'd been thinking about it because I didn't really like being a Drakthir. I missed being a gnome. I wanted to be a gnome and not a Drakthir. So that was kind of the setup, but that wasn't enough to push me over the edge. The thing that pushed me over the edge is that in Aberrus, the legendary would not drop for me. It would not drop. We raided and we raided and we raided. We were clearing heroic every week after week after week. The other evoker got it. And my raid team eventually was like, well, we're done for the tier. We've been at this for ages. See you next season. And I'm like, to heck with this. I'm done. And I quit. I hated that farm so much. At a certain point, I didn't even want to see it drop anymore because I'm going the wrong way. Because I wanted a good reason to switch. I got real salty that it wouldn't drop and I rage quit the whole class. This is heroic. Imagine if we get a priest legendary. I don't want it. I don't like them. I've never, ever had a good experience with a legendary. I'm glad they're in the game because other people like them, and I guess I want other people to be happy or whatever, but like, I don't like it and I don't want it. It's nothing but grief. Yeah. Awful. Here, have a bunch of extra work so you can do basically the same amount of throughput because we tuned your class balance around this big thing. Welcome to being terrible until you get the darn thing. No, it was personal loot. You couldn't trade it. You had to get it to drop for you.
Beware.
I also, I'm not like super into the story bits, so the backstory of like a super cool weapon isn't something that's very meaningful to me personally. Which means that if they do like a big, you know, story quest line, Fangs of the Father style, I'm also not wildly interested in that. It just kind of reads as a bunch of extra work that I have to do to get ready for raid night. So I think I'm just not the right target audience for them, and I hope I keep dodging them. Been doing Sark LFR for the mount skin. There are always so many evokers in there still. Yeah. To this day, I have bad luck protections stacked up on that evoker, and I don't have the legendary, and I don't even go near Sarkareth anymore on it because I don't want to see it drop. I don't want to have to spend the gold or the time or anything. I would get that item and I would leave it in my bank. Arcana Crystal being infamous and hated on 8 years after Legion makes it legendary in my eyes. If they make a priest legendary and you again don't get it, would you switch? Oh man, I hope we never find out. have not always mained priest, but I've mained priest more than I've mained anything else. I was shadow for a lot of years. I was shadow for a bunch of expansions. And then I did holy for Shadowlands, Prevoker for 2 seasons in Dragonflight, and then back to holy priest. But I was a shadow priest for WoD through Shadowlands. So WoD, BFA, Legion, I was shadow for all of that.
4, 3, 2, 1.
What did I main before priest? Nothing. I started playing in late Wrath of the Lich King, and from that point until I picked priest as a main in Warlords and started maining Shadow Priest. Hang on a second. Unplug. I don't even use it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I just switched characters every 6 months. So I did some Hunter, I did some Warlock, I did some Resto Druid, a bunch of different things through like Wrath and Kata. Was it just Wrath and Kata before Warlords? I think so. But I bounced around a lot. I didn't really have like a thing.
4, 3,
Nah, I haven't always been gnome. I've been a bunch of stuff. I've had Night Elves during my Druid eras.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Made you fall in love with Priest? I don't know. I like it. I know that's not a very interesting answer, but it's been so long I don't really remember.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Mop. Yeah, I didn't have a main in Mop either. I picked Shadow Priest at the end of Mop. I wanted to play Holy, but it was covered at that point. So I flexed to Shadow so that I wouldn't step on any toes, and then stuck with Shadow for a while. I think I very much prefer healing given the chance to, but I was a DPS main for a long time just to kind of, honestly, because the stigma of being a female healer was preventing me from pursuing it. I didn't want people to give me a hard time about it. I didn't want people to make a bunch of assumptions about me, so I decided to just avoid the whole business, and then eventually I was like, you know what, I'm almost 30. To heck with it. I'm doing whatever I want. I'm going downstairs, that's right. I've tanked a little bit here and there. There was a memorable raid at the end of BFA that I played at Bear Druid for the community guild for Squirrel Squad, and I tanked us through Nyalotha. One raid before I disappeared again forever. Lagnaros, thank you for the 3-month resub. I like Resto Druid. I'm more familiar with Resto Druid in PvP. I haven't PvE'd much on Resto Druid ever. Every now and then I think that I'm gonna try it. I had like an alt that I was leveling to try PvE Resto Druid, and then I just play Holy Priest instead. But Resto Druid has always been my arena main. I guess there's always that. I could always try to... I could always try and fit a vicious mountain between now and the end of the season. Oh yeah, that's right. I was my DK phase with my well-dressed orc. I was a blood DK for that was really fun. We did a character randomizer. There's like an online web page where you can basically roll a random character, and it gave me Magheart orc blood DK, so I leveled one and I played it for a bit. I think the goal is to get through all of normal or something. Healer something worth trying to learn for Mythic Plus as a casual. I think it's very fun. I would, these days with the way they've done the difficulty curve, I would start in like heroics and then Mythic Zeros before worrying about Mythic Plus, because it's going to be the same kind of gameplay but just with less pressure per speed. I think it's very fun, but it's a very personal assessment. I'm going to get out of here And then take a short break, and then I'm going to look for a Siege of Orgrimmar group. Didn't you get KSM on that tank? I might have done. I don't remember what the goal was I set, but I remember whatever goal I set I had to play to have said that I played Blood DK. We did do it. I can always log onto it and check, actually. Let me see her. You want to see her? She's got cool transmog. There she is. There's a tank if you ever saw one. Because 1K was definitely not KSM. I don't think I got KSM. I definitely got some raids cleared, at least once. And then I remember I did some bonus keys on her too, because people were running keys and they didn't have a tank, and I was like, okay, I'll try. Oh, but it's a new season, isn't it? So she won't have any rating at all. That's right. I would have to look at her history or something. I'd have to look at her achievements. Dungeons. So she did Dawn of the Infinites. I don't know how I would find out. I forgot. You did a 20. Hi, Hazelnut Chat. What's up, Ivashka? I hope you're doing well. I'm going to take a quick break, and then when I come back, I'm going to look for a Siege of Orgrimmar. BRB. Okay, let's see how much bronze we have and see what kind of a siege we can squeeze ourselves into. There's a meta in the War Within. Gives you a Mog set. If you do Mythic Plus in every roll for every dungeon. Don't think it's rating. Oh, in the War Within. I was panicking for a hot second because I was like, wait. I haven't done that yet. It's not in yet. That is fun. Every roll for every dungeon. I'll have to pick out what my favorite, I guess tank is going to be. That's going to be the big one. All right, let's get some of this out of the way. Still have yet to. You know what? Actually, no time like the present. Let me try scrap again. I haven't had it since like BFA, but there's an add-on that supposedly makes the scrapping process easier, and I have a ton of gear to scrap. And I don't want to do it the old-fashioned way. So let's see if it helps at all. Let's look. Try that. That's the junk seller. Let me try it. Oh, that's for classic. Oops. Not me installing classic add-ons. Update these. Eliofantes on a 3-stream streak. Fancy. Let's try that. Yeah, let's try that. And let's reload one more time. You cannot get Garrosh bones in LFR. It must be normal or higher. You get 1 bone from a normal clear, 4 bones from a heroic clear, and 10 bones from a mythic clear. Let's see if this does anything. Yeah, okay. So, queue all options. Because I don't want to keep any of this. I just want to get rid of all of it. And it looks like it's picking gear and not scrapping stuff, so that's good. Or it's gear and not gems, because I might want to scrap my gems, but I'm not committed to it just yet. Bronze count. So I have, after I'm done scrapping, I'll double check. I'm sitting on 102k bronze on me at this moment. Which means we're up about 80 from this morning. I haven't spent any in a minute, though. And then now we're into gems. Which we won't worry about too heavily, although there are some greens here. X Arthur, thank you very much for the 25-month resub. Finally finished all the collecting on Monday. Now I'm not sure what to do. Oh, congratulations on being done. Okay. So, let's check the week. Or I'm gonna have to reload again. What was the name of that add-on, just in case somebody asks? I just installed it. It was called Easy Scrap. Although I also got Scrap. I actually don't know which one it was. I think it's Easy Scrap. It's Easy Scrap. There we go. Let's look and see if we can find a delicious heroic siege group that is kind of built. So I'm looking ideally for a fresh run with maybe an item level floor. So I don't want anything locked out. And I ideally want something that's filling with like people that are geared like I am. Because you can't see right away. And if I'm the only 476, it's going to be kind of a long day. It looks like, here we are. So I have 103 of 150k bronze for the moment. So they've already got a Mercius down. I could also make one. Because it only fills to 10 for some reason. Although I saw a big one. Yeah, you can fill it to bigger than that. I guess I don't know. How much bronze left? Roughly 50k. Camping Shaw of Anger spawn. Oh, someone in a Robin Mog from Batman and Robin. That's fun. I guess, I don't know, vaguely suspicious, but if they have a big enough group, there's a chance that there's a few people in there that can do it. Oh, they've been delisted. One thing I missed from camping world bosses for the rare mounts was fun to show off mogs and mounts there. I used to have a good time with that in Shadowlands. There were so many different rares that you could camp in Shadowlands. I don't know, maybe. All right, let's try it. I don't have anything better. I don't have any better ideas. Flabby's really good at like vetting groups to find the ones that are really stacked with people that do big damage, and I don't know how he does it. Oh well. If I'm lucky, this will be the last heroic siege that I have to do because I'll have enough bronze after this. 476 is the highest item level you can get in Remix. You'll never get higher than 476. It's kind of funky because your gear can upgrade to 556, but your rings and trinkets and stuff stay back in like the 340s, so it kind of balances out. All right. The trick for Siege of Orgrimmar is to find something to keep yourself occupied in the meantime. You know, like word games, puzzles, you know, discussions about the merits of various sea creatures. What else you got? Or even a stream.
Run away.
Candy Crush. They're the ones upgrading. They're the one upgrade less than max level stuff. Balcony Lettuce not happy with the heat wave. Oh, I bet not. I'm so sorry. Yeah, lettuce does not like heat. That is true about it. I thought about starting some. I was thinking about you when I was looking at some seeds, and I thought about starting some in my pots, but then I was like, you know what? We're coming for some heat. And it's going to be very sad. I'm having enough of a hard time trying to keep my my herbs hanging on. I let my rosemary get too dry. I'm a terrible, terrible herb parent. Wait a bit longer. Yeah, it'd be good in the fall. Would definitely work out in the fall. It looks like this group will be fine. It's always hard to tell from Immersius, but we seem to have... Yeah, there's plenty of 476s in here. No problem. Easy clear. Thinking I want a strawberry plant, even if I get no strawberries. They're fun. That was how I ended up getting raspberries, is I was like, I'm getting a raspberry cane. Even if it never does anything, I'm going to put it in a pot and I'm going to water it and it's going to be mine. And then, you know, fast forward and I get raspberries every year. Sometimes it works out. I would say, yes, gear is more important than threads because your gear is going to directly scale your gems, and your gems are a huge source of your damage. The vast majority of the damage that I do in this character is just from having my Lifestorm and my Searing Light, and those are scaling directly because I have them in 556 pieces of gear. Threads help. Threads help for sure. You can definitely tell the difference between a 476 with a stacked cloak and one with kind of a whatever cloak, but the biggest bulk of your power gains is going to come from just upgrading your gear. Okay, if we can make it here, we can make it anywhere.
Special coming.
Did we break it? Nope, we broke it. We borked it. Wonder how a character with unleveled gear but max gems and 2 million threads would fare. There must be players like that have been playing a max level character and have been committed to trying to like do content to farm bronze to buy things, but they refuse to spend any of that bronze on their
Special
gear.
coming.
Because I thought about doing that. I was like, well, can I get better if I just get threads? You know, those are still giving me power, right? What if I never
Special
upgrade any
coming.
gear? And I eventually talked myself out of that, but... Good? Yes? Bad? We're too strong? We need to DPS even more slowly. I didn't even Lifestorm that time. This is the Celestial Seasonings Raspberry Zinger tea. It's just like a fruity herbal tea. It's nice. Never upgraded gear. Leveled up 12 characters. Had enough bronze for everything by the end. I'm just gonna gently rinse these mobs with a pleasant rain of multi-shot. I'm not gonna do. I'll kill ads and stuff, but I'm not gonna party too hard here. I think we're just keep busting it. Just a wee sneeze. Just a pleasant rain. Glancing over the garden. Proving Grounds give titles for doing level 30 endless.
Stack.
New titles? Because I have the old Proving Ground titles. Old titles, okay. That's fine. I'm pretty sure I have that done. I at the very least have Proven Healer. I didn't even think that those... I guess I don't know this for sure, but I thought those titles were still available. I thought you can go do that in retail. I might be wrong. Maybe they toasted them. What are the Proving Grounds like? It's like a real wimpy version of the Mage Tower. Single player, waves of combat scenarios. Not a ton going on, but it gets more difficult the farther up the ranks you go. Things to interrupt, things to dodge, things to dispel, etc. I mainly remember the healer ones. It's been a long time though. I'm so glad they doubled bronze from caches. I would be here for so long. I would have been doing this for so much longer if they hadn't done that. It was perfectly timed too. It was like the day after I got to 476 and I was ready to start like really cranking through heroic raids to farm bronze. It was beautiful timing. You think they'll buff bronze to 200 or 300 by the end of the event? I think they'll do something. They might do it in like the final week or 2 weeks of the event, which is going to be pretty close to the expansion launch anyway, just to kind of help people that are coming in super late to get the stuff that they're after. Because they've given us this buff, so I feel like it would be fairly straightforward for them to then tweak the numbers on the buff. But I don't know for sure. I'll have everything before then, so it'll be kind of a moot point for me, personally. Yeah, I need a better minigame to play than just combining my gems in my bag. I got nothing else going on. Nothing doing. Do we historically get heirlooms, upgrade items, and pre-patch events? I don't remember. I did remember reading something about... Oh, I was reading pre-patch notes about them changing the item level of gear that you get when leveling 60 to 70 to kind of smooth it out for people that are like moving into the next expansion, which makes sense. But then they said that the heirlooms were not going to get that power buff because heirlooms are already good because they upgrade with you. And it's like, but
5,
why?
4,
You already
3,
made heirlooms expensive.
2, 1.
Why are we dunking on them? If somebody's going to pay to have their heirlooms upgrade all the way to 70, it seems kind of rude for those heirlooms to then be just like
Stay away
dramatically
from
worse than the
mines.
new quest rewards as you're leveling to 70.
Big ad.
Especially like if you're doing it down the road and you're just trying to get leveled for
Big ad.
the War Within. It just feels weird that your
Big
heirlooms
ad.
just drop off 10 levels early. But I've got so many characters that are leveled to 70 now with remix. I don't think I'm going to have that problem of like leveling a character 60 to 70 for some time. Maybe never again, you know. I don't know. If I get enough options leveled, maybe one day instead of making a new character, I'll just be able to look at the library of alts that I leveled and be like, well, I'm going to play this one, and I'll just pretend that I made it again. I'm not super optimistic about that because part of the joy... I'm going to be in trouble here. I'm going to turtle in a minute. I think a big part of the joy of making a new alt is like making it, you know, like being like, oh man, what race am I gonna be? What spec do I want to level as? Wouldn't be quite the same if you were just picking something that you made like 3 years ago and leveled during an event that you've already forgotten about. Won't be anything left to level up, so the player density might be lower. I would still play it just for the cosmetics, if assuming that there is cosmetics. Even if they just make it a good way to get old cosmetics, it's just real nice being able to clean up like all the world sets and dungeon sets and stuff without having to farm them. But I think that Remix was so popular that it could sustain a huge, this is a weird way of doing the sentence. I think Remix could survive and be very successful with a fraction of the amount of players it had this time. I think that even if far fewer people do it next time, it would still be super fun and go very well. But I don't think we're going to see the next one soon. I think we're going to be busy with the War Within for some time. we're going to be delving. The raid leader called the next boss Gala Nap, which is a specific kind of sick burn that I actually haven't heard before. I'm just gonna water walking myself with my pet and run over. Excited for delves. Story mode for raids. Do you think Remix was popular because of the gameplay or that a lot of people didn't want Retail Season 4? I think it was popular because of the gameplay. I think that if they had come out with a bad mode that wasn't fun or interesting, and people didn't want to play Retail Season 4, they wouldn't be like, oh man, I have to play this mode. They would have been like, okay, see ya. I'm going to go play Pictionary or like whatever, you know. Other game. Do something else. I think that Remix needed to be good if it was going to hold people's attention. There's always going to be some people that just won't leave the WoW ecosystem no matter what, and it probably kept more of those, but there's plenty of people that like have been playing other popular things. You know, I know people that are doing the new Valheim patch. I know people that have been spreading democracy and playing a lot of Helldivers. I know people that have been playing all kinds of stuff, you know. There's no shortage of options. Yeah, shout out to Pictionary. Truly the zeitgeist of gaming right now. Watch Elden Ring Pro. I had a lot of fun in Retail Season 4. I thought it was well done. I was just done with it very quickly, which I think speaks to it being polite about my time. It was not something that forced you to play for like 8 weeks to get everything done. You could very much do it in 3 weeks, playing pretty casually if you wanted to. Remix was a lot of fun. Pictionary and Gestures that my family plays often when we get together for events. Not super in love with the dungeons. I had a fun kind of seeing them again for like a minute. It was sort of like a nostalgic tour. I did not necessarily want to stay there for long, which I think is part of why I didn't pursue Keystone Master and more characters. Like, there have been seasons when they first introduced the upgrade system. I was having so much fun playing that I did a bunch of characters. I got a bunch of characters geared up and into keys and stuff in seasons 2 and to some extent 3. But I didn't really want to do that in season 4, and I think it's partly because I've sort of seen those dungeons, and then it's partly because there was so many other things going on. There was Plunderstorm, now there's Remix, there's Beta, there's just more things than retail for the moment, which is good. It's a good moment to have all those extra things going on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Last time I did Mythic Plus was in Legion. Is it still absolutely toxic? Probably. It's very much dependent on who you're playing with. And I don't think I've really had a toxic Mythic Plus experience in Dragonflight, but I also don't know if I had any in Legion. I mainly play with friends, which is a great fun, and then when I do pug, they're generally pretty polite and stable. I haven't really encountered people raging, but I also don't pug very much. It's gonna vary at different levels of the game. And there's always, in any place where you're in there with the general public, there's always going to be people that are having a bad day and they're going to make it everybody else's problem. It's unavoidable. Yeah, that's true. I don't usually pay a lot of attention to in-game chat. Yeah, I know it's easier said than done, but playing with the same groups is a vastly different experience to pugging. It's like the difference between playing a dodgeball game with your friends for fun at a party, and I haven't been to a lot of parties, so forgive me if my metaphors are a bit wacky. Playing a dodgeball game for fun with your friends at a party versus being forced to play dodgeball with a bunch of strangers from your school that you don't know anything about in PE class for credit. Like, it's the same game, but one of them's fun and one of them's miserable and possibly violent. Hogging the new Mythic Plus key levels was rough. A lot of people not ready for 12s that can easily get into a +2 key and list up. There was definitely a learning curve. There was definitely a moment where 2s were pretty crazy because people were not ready for it to be different. They reworked key difficulties, so what is now a +2 is more in line with where a 10 used to be. And it means that that at least when they first made that change, things were a little spicy in the low keys. Oh, Galagras. I can't complain too much. I don't really help. I just kind of sit around. They made it way harder? I don't like that. The reason that they made the timed keys harder was because they wanted to make more relevant content to do that doesn't have a timer so that you don't feel pressured by the ticking clock. So instead of doing a key, you could do a random heroic, and that's going to give you better gear, and it's going to be more relevant and easier for you to get into. Or if you want to do a pre-made thing and you want the next step up after random heroics, Mythic Zeros occupy that old space where low keys used to, except that you don't have to worry about any affixes and you don't have to worry about any timers. You can make an argument that they made dungeons easier and more accessible to get into, but it's just kind of based on the perspective where you look at it. You get better gear from lower level content that is the same level of difficulty but with less complications than before, kind of. As the difficulty scales, why do a timer at all? I kind of like them as like a success fail metric. I feel like when you're pushing keys, it's kind of useful to be able to be like, to have a difference between, oh man, we +3'd this versus we barely timed this versus we definitely didn't time this and we're nowhere close. It lets them give rewards on kind of like a scale based on how well it went. And if you didn't have any timer on any of it, eventually the very hardest content is going to become let's wait 10 minutes for Bloodlust in between each and every pack. Having a timer kind of prevents you from having these degen strategies where everybody has to AFK after every single pull. More rewards with less effort. Not less effort, just without... There's a post somewhere where they had like the actual like old level of difficulty, new level of difficulty equivalency laid out. It's basically the same amount of effort but with less affixes and timer, more or less. Kind of like the new key difficulty levels. I like the idea of them for alts and being able to get an alt actually off the ground and get decent loot and do meaningful content in like a random heroic or in a mythic zero without having to worry about the timer and being super tight with the root just yet. I really like it now that it seems we're all used to it now. Yeah, I'm happy with it too. You also still, even if you don't make a timer, you still get vault credit for for finishing a dungeon that you didn't time. You're still going to get loot, not as much loot, but you'll get loot for finishing a dungeon under time. So if you're doing a timed dungeon and you really don't like the timer, you could arguably just tide it. Obviously that doesn't help with the culture, but if it's just an on your screen thing. You can do normal siege, I think, before max level. On that point of having dungeons be like shorter pieces of content than raid nights, I'm especially kind of looking forward to delves being even littler. Thought affixes were worse than the timer. I do appreciate this new world where you don't get the second affix until like the very end of what is my key progression. It used to be 20s and now it's basically 10s. It's nice not having to mess around with a second affix. It just makes the whole thing a little bit less messy. Cannot wait for delves. Changes in More Within 247. Bummer. I liked not having two of them. I'll make my peace with it. First affix designed to be passive. Especially for the rewards. I am dreaming of my mushroom hat. I think Throne has better bronze efficiency, but I haven't really timed him out. Throne just seems to have more bosses that give you the greater bronze cache, although I also haven't counted them, so I don't know. But I feel like for your time, if you have time for one of them, I feel like I get more bronze from Heroic Throne in a quick clear group. Wife and I are looking forward to Delves for that reason.
Watch your step. Target change. Stay away from lines.
Am I the only weirdo who finds Siege easier than Throne? It's an easier raid, it's just longer. And once you get enough gear, they're both kind of the same level of easy because everything falls over. You don't have to do any mechanics in either of them. Thanks, Protonster. I'll make sure to give Miss Kira some pets from you guys. Hoping Blizz starts to realize how much of the player base plays solo. It'd be great if they keep this energy going. They, like, absolutely have data. they absolutely have information on like, how people tend to play. No drama. Pro llama. I haven't come out with my llama versus alpaca stance for the year yet. I'm still considering it. Delves seem like the best way to introduce more fun MOG rewards and pets like the trading post. Yeah, I'm very curious about like the level of confidence that they've shown with Delves in being like, this isn't just for this patch or this expansion. We're doing these forever. It's a new thing like Mythic Plus and World Quests. And it's like, all right, great. I'm interested to see how it goes. I do think they're going to stick with it. I'm curious to see what the form looks like after they've had an expansion to work on it, though. My fear with them, and I do need to test them more because I still haven't tried them beyond the leveling ones. I haven't tried the end game delves that they're testing right now. The fear is that they just kind of turn into like, I don't know, like the sniff and seeks, or the fear is that they're like boring, basically. Well, we'll see. I don't think there's any concern that they're turning into Torghast. It's easy to see one of the powers that you get on the floor in a delve and be like, oh, hey, it's Torghast, but they're really nothing like the Torghast powers. From what I've seen, they don't last very long. They don't combo together. You're not putting together a build. It doesn't have that roguelike aspect of Torghast that I liked. It's just kind of like, oh, hey, you did this objective. Have some haste for a minute. I love group content. Not so much raids, but Mythic Plus is my jam. With Holly being solo focused, I think it's made the game better. Can't wait for more solo stuff as well. My biggest worry for War Within is being underground for a whole expansion. The capital city is on the surface. That's something. The place that you're probably AFKing and noodling around when you're doing professions and waiting for groups and stuff is all above ground with the sky overhead. And the different zones feel very different. Like they are underground, but they don't feel like a cave. I think Midnight will bring a lot of people back. It'll be cool to see where it goes. It's all going so fast. I never feel like my brain has time to catch up. Can we drop through a hole in the Capitol and fall through every zone? Because if not, they should make that a thing. They just drill a big elevator. Fireman's pole. Fireman's pole, but your character's camera swings around it in a horrifically nausea-inducing fashion. Unskippable. No accessibility settings.
Beware.
5,
Cat of Classic surprisingly popping. That's good. I'm glad people are having fun. Remember the big elevator in Tomb where you see all the layers? I don't remember that for some reason. I liked the elevators in Throne of Tides because they made me feel like I was in a lava lamp. Big under the sea bubbles. If I did attune to 20, should I keep going? Depends on what you want. If you're enjoying it and you need some entertainment to fill some hours in your day, by all means. If you're not having fun, or you don't have the hours in the day, then maybe not. It's a very personal assessment. I like the elevators that can kill you when they land on you. Those are my favorite. One left, two right. Alright, I'm going left.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Yesterday morning,
1.
I was saying hello to my dog, and I was kind of like petting him and like leaning over, and he was doing his happy moose dance, where he kind of like jumps around like a horse that's eating a bunch of candy. And he like kind of threw his head back and up, and I was leaning over him, and he caught me in the chin.
Enrage.
He like clacked my teeth together, and he made me bite my
Whirlwind.
tongue really hard. And it was my own fault for not being careful enough, because he does it every morning, and we normally are able to, you know, romp joyously without injury. But I wasn't paying enough
Enrage.
attention. No fun. Don't recommend.
Dispel boss. Watch your
Buff Bronze
4,
reignited my love for
3,
remix.
2, 1.
Yeah.
Watch your feet.
It's split on the side in a way that it rubs on my teeth when I do anything. And it'll be fine in a day or two, because mouth injuries are like that. They hurt, but they usually heal pretty fast. But holy smokes, is it difficult to just not think about it until then.
Help soak.
Weird things in your mouth, man.
Help soak.
But I didn't chip a tooth or anything, so we're okay. Which is good, because I have lots of wonderful things in my life, and dental insurance is not one of them.
Enrage.
Any good? Fresh coffee, so good. We had like a mystery where our coffee was tasting weird and soapy for like a week. And I was like trying to figure out what was going on, and I was like cleaning the coffee machine, and I descaled it and just rinsing everything a million times, and I don't know what the problem was. Eventually, whatever it was, like worked its way out and stopped, but like it was bad. How often do you get new glasses? When I start to feel like I can't see anymore. So I've done it twice. I got my glasses and then I wore those for like 3 or 4 years, and then I got these ones last year. Although, I definitely made a mistake. These ones, I thought that I was going to live a delicate, refined life of sensibility. So I bought glasses that were less durable. They're still durable, but they're not like... Before, my frames were fairly flexible and they could take a lot of abuse. And these ones, whenever I get hit in the face, generally by a dog, usually mine, sometimes somebody else's, they get skewed and then they sit crooked, and then I have to try to put them back. And one day they're going to have had just about enough of that. Maybe different ones next time. Good water, often overlooked for coffee. Cash only for dental work as well. Not cheap. Only floss the teeth you want to keep. Hey, it's a lot cheaper to pay for dental cleanings than it is to pay for more extensive work, is what I say. I spend money on my teeth, but I call it an investment. Have you considered not getting hit in the face? True, but to counterpoint, when you see Moose for the first time in the day, or like if he's getting home from something or you're getting home from something, and then you kneel down on the ground and you hold open your arms and you go, Moosey! And then he like gallops towards you and then crashes into you. Yeah, your glasses get bent. And I've been starting to take my glasses off before I do this, so that if I do get hit in the face, it's not going to break the eyewear. But like, you can't compete with the feeling. Quite enjoyed it. Might consider it as an alt main. Have you dabbled in survival at all? No. I'm not a melee girly. I don't want to be in the boss's toenails. I can't see anything. I need to be at maximum range, zoomed out as far as I can so I see obstacles coming at me from a mile away. Such a Canadian given name. I think I have a complex. I think I'm trying to make up for some weird internal perceived loss of Canadianness because I spent 7 years out of the country, and now that I'm back, I'm like being extra and cringe and upsetting. I guess I just named my dog Moose. I can't think of anything else I did. I bought a Tim Hortons mug to put my Starbucks in. So much bronze. The fact that you don't wear red and white colors every day is upsetting. Red's just not my color. It's just not my thing. I can do pink. I like pink. But yeah, I was downtown and I was walking past the gift shops where they have like the sweaters that are like Victoria, BC, and have like a bear on it. And I was like, oh, you know I live here, but it looks pretty fun. But then I was like, there's got to be some place you can buy something better quality than the merch that they have specifically to rip off tourists that are coming off of cruise ships. Flag would be better if it was pink. What if they have one with a pink bear? I need to do Hazel merch. I was going to say do it in time for summer, but summer's kind of here. I need to get on it. I have a piece of art, but I need to get the rest of the design together, and then I need to order samples to figure out what I want to print it onto. I make Tim Hortons coffee, put it in a Starbucks mug. It's the reverse. It's home. My Hazel tech shirt is fading. Bless you for holding on to it that long. I haven't done merch, like new merch, in years at this point. I once had it on a whiteboard that I was going to do like a new launch like twice a year, 3 times a year or something. Never happened. Absolutely not. I just talked myself out of it. But it's fun. I have your stick figure tees. I learned an important lesson from those, which is that if you're going to have a graphic like that, you need to put a background on it because otherwise it'll peel. I had a stick figure sweater and I was very upset because the stick figure came right off of it. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, I will try and avoid that in the future. It was hard because it didn't happen. Like, I ordered a sample and I was like, oh, this is great. All right, send them off to the press. And I'm like, I never have it ready enough to order a sample and then wear it and wash it for a year before I'd start to sell them. There's different versions of printing, and some things are available in certain kind of fabrics and some aren't, and it's like a whole rabbit hole you can get into. How's our bronze doing? 125k that I'm sitting on with 2 more bosses left? It's only 20 after 11. I think I'm going to be like a little bit of bronze short. Which means I could either be cool and do dailies tomorrow, or I could be uncool and try to find something else to grind today. Also, it's occurring to me that I haven't fixed my light here. That's fine. One of my lights is not working, but my curtains are open, so it kind of evens out. You could run Mythic. I could run Mythic. That would give a lot of bronze. That would give an awful lot of bronze. I don't want to do it anymore though. I did Mythic once. Once is enough. I could probably get some decent bronze from just scrapping all these legendary gems. I have like over 30 legendary gems that I'm sitting on that I'm not using. 1070s? 175k each of bronze, still 60 days to go. Oh. Yeah, okay, I guess it's not that much bronze. It's probably more work to scrap all of them. Oh well. I picked up easy scrap, but if it's all of them and it's just for like 5k bronze, it's like one normal set. It's not really worth. We do it, we did it. Is Mythic Siege challenging? Not with a full 476 group. I haven't tried it with anything less than that. I'm sure there is a there are groups out there that could struggle with it if you're not fully geared, but if you go in with everybody fully upgraded, it's a lot like heroic. I think I'm gonna buy the toys first when I do start shopping, just to get him off the list, get him done. How much bronze? All vendors. It's a great question. I don't recall. Depends on how many things you already have as well. I didn't need to farm as much bronze because going into it I already had all of the world drop mounts and I already had all the raid drop mounts. We don't have any raid testing this week. Or at least no heroic raid testing. I want to see the rest of the fights. The first handful of them were so cool. How do you decide what your main will be? I think it was easy for me because going out of the end of Dragonflight, I wasn't planning on switching. I've been playing a priest, and I want to keep playing a priest. I think I don't really pick a new main every expansion. It's more of a question of, is there anything that's going to talk me into changing my main? And for the beginning of Dragonflight, there was. I really wanted to try Pre-Evoker because it was a new class and it was really exciting and intriguing. But going into the War Within, nothing's really talking me into changing my mind. So I'm pretty content to stick with what I've been playing. I've always found I get a lot of value off of sticking to a main for as long as possible because it, I don't know, helps me feel more connected to my character. It helps me feel like I'm more me. If I played a hunter, I couldn't heal, and I love healing. It's my favorite thing to do in game. It's hard because if I knew I wasn't really going to get to heal much, then I would probably just play. Well, would I play hunter? Would I play Shadow Priest? I do love Shadow Priest. You have to create a new tune for remix. You cannot use an existing one. You label the character as a time-running character upon creation. Tried main for so many years and Dragonflight switched to Paladin. I don't know what I'm going to do for War Within.
Shockwave.
Does reading through the hero talents help you at all?
Phase 3.
We know what the hero talents are going to be for the different specs. Maybe one of those really like speaks to you. Maybe there's something that you're excited about. I don't know whether or not I'm done with PvP. I feel like I might be. But it's kind of hard to say to let things go, I guess. I haven't been very hard into PvP in a long time, but I also haven't quite quit it completely. I've always picked it up and done just enough to kind of get a vicious mount and remember what I'm doing, vaguely. And then... But this is the first season that I feel like maybe it's time to just let it go. Makes it hard to let go. I mean, on one hand, it's fun, and it can be fun. There's a lot of memories there. There's a lot of validation there. There's a lot of feeling like I put a lot of effort into learning something, and it's nice to be able to flex that skill set and do something with it. There's collectibles, there's transmog, and there's mounts that I only get from engaging in that PvP. And the longer I put it away, the harder it would be to pick it back up. I should play with Silver Kitty again. I don't know. If you haven't been, it's very hard to pick it up mid-expansion, I find. Alright, how are we doing? Let's scrap the rest of this stuff and let's check to see. I think I'm going to be a bit short. I think I'm going to have not quite enough. But let's scrap as much as we can. Nope. Let's scrap as much as we can, see where we're at. It's a weak ore for the bronze. So look, URBG's gonna go crazy next expect. Yeah. I think I'm happy with my gems. I don't think I'm gonna hold on to any gems. It's helping. Takes some doing, but it's a lot of work to crush this many gems into dust. I don't think it's going to get me all the way there, but it's going to get me vaguely close. I have a lot of extra haste gems. If you were reborn in a medieval fantasy in some kind of empire, what would your job or profession be? Me, medieval empire. What were the options for women? Can I farm or do I have to be someone's wife? When she heals, it adds stress to my work week every time she dies. Always my fault. Yuki. Hang on a second. Oh, if I can be anything, I see. Give me Palace Gardener then. Give me a nice little grove to look over. Let me do a little pond maintenance for the princess. You know, make sure her fruit trees are looking good. Be the witch old hag at the edge of the village. Working stables, taking care of royal horses. I'm not a horse girl, though. I know I like animals, but I don't specifically have a thing with horses. They're very large. They're kind of frightened. There's enough of that energy coming from me. We don't need two of us. Yeah, I'll walk the queen's shepherds. Horses scare me. I don't know why. Rogue sent out for assassination missions. No good. No good. Don't want to kill anybody. Sounds very stressful. Highly anxiety inducing. Lots of guilt. You know, danger to the laundry. No good. We're saying toys first. So I have 143k. I have 158. I'm going to be close, but I'm not going to be all the way there. But we're going to get what we can here. So I'm buying the kiln and the warning sign. Call them done. Dun, dun. Here, let's go check them both out just to celebrate. So the Eternal Kiln is a cooking fire toy. Gives you one of these little guys from like the Ordos area. Little brazier. Not to be confused with a brazier. There's the warning sign. Lasts for a minute and you can change what the warning is. You can have it say treasure ahead and put it in front of a drop off. Need friends. There you go. Stand right behind it. Needs friends. It's a brazier. Oh, you'll find out when you're older. I'm going to buy normal sets now because that's the only thing the weak ore tells me I still need. I think I've got missing pieces here and there from bits and bobs, but we're gonna do what we can here. Normal over here. 34, 57. It kind of sucks buying sets that like you have almost everything from. I guess we'll do those last. Like if you're just missing like 5 pieces. 4 pieces. If I'm missing 18 pieces, that's a little more reasonable. I love it when I'm missing all 94. That feels good. 115. Love to see it. And we're out. I have a feeling, yeah, we're close, but we're not quite enough. Let's use everything here. Bronze weak ore isn't fit accurate. All the things is better. It's a good start though. I haven't found anything that's 100% accurate. Yeah, I heard that Angler Rep is in here. I don't know what I would do it for, but I heard that it was available. Okay. So we're not quite finished, but we're pretty kind of sort of close. Yeah, so it thinks I need another 25k to buy basically 5 more sets off the normal vendor. But with all the things, it's showing me that I do need a couple of pieces here and there from these ones. I bet you if I go through the vendors and I clear out the stuff from the weak ores from the weak ore first, and then I kind of go back and I use this tooltip to figure out what Vestments of Serenity. That one specifically, it's missing like a piece. And now that vendor says done. Okay. That would be a good step. Fishing gear, mountain raft. Ooh. Well, let's see. We have anything good in our mail? We're pretty close to being finished with remix, but I'm not quite there. I wonder if I just need one more day. Oh, there's another cache. I could do a normal siege or I could do a mythic siege. Normal siege would probably go very fast, but it's also normal siege. Ew, stinky. Mythic siege. What ATT settings are you using for remix? My normal ones, I think. I don't think I changed anything. Because how else would I get bronze? It would just be Siege of Orgrimmar. There's no other way. There's no other way. Ugh, I could sign. I could. It would be way more bronze to do this version of it. Oh, you know what the other thing I could do is... Okay, forget Siege of Orgrimmar. We quit Siege of Orgrimmar. You know what else we can do? Here, let's turn off the Weakor for a second. Cherry Heart, thanks for the 30-month resub. Appreciate it. Say it ain't Siege. Blast a tune. Also a good idea. Not what I had in mind. Arguably a better idea than the one that I had in mind. I could go poke around and see if we can see what it's like to farm some of these trove tally things that I don't have. Specifically the open world ones. I want to poke around and see how annoying / hard it'll be to get something like... Let's start with this one. Can I pop it out? No. I'm looking for a staff, so I need to be survival spec, which I believe I am. Loot specialization survival. And then I need to go either do quest rares or find a farm spot. Let's do in the town long steps. And see if it's possible for me to force this green mog to drop. We're trying to fill out this list of weapons that I can earn in my hunter. Within reason. Looks like I'm missing a couple staffs from normal Siege of Orgrimmar. We're just not going to worry about that. Because I'm sure I'll get some bronze along the way there. Appearances. Yeah. Tons of group mobs. Raves. Where is that? Is it marked on the map? Oh, there it is. Okay. It's good. There's also, I haven't done any quests yet, so the quest caches might be a good thing to do. I might be able to just, like, blow through some of the questing campaign. 10 out of 10 spot. Okay, I'll give it a try. Not that way, this way. Camon's holding on to those stapes, no worries. I'm not being super methodical with how I go about farming all of the unique weapon mogs. I'm just kind of trying to get as many as I can on this character, and then I'll see how I feel about the idea of abandoning it. Because I could totally... Well, it's probably better on a max level character to grind than to quest, eh? Yeah. Yeah, I'm in survival loot spec for sure. Random dailies achievements. The Shadowpen friend you do 15 dailies with or whatever. Ooh. But with only somewhere in the range of like 50k left to farm, this seems like a good thing to work on. Especially because I probably won't finish this today, so if I do any more tomorrow, I could just like do a real quick, I don't know, random dailies and stuff, and that'll help too. I wonder if now I'm not doing raids for bronze, if I just start doing normal clear raids instead, to A, farm the transmogs, and B, just to carry some groups, because I feel like the normal raid clears don't have very many 476s in them, because most people that are at 476 are going to be doing it for bronze, and they'll want the bigger bronze from heroic, so it'd be kind of fun just to hang around in normal. So we're specifically doing this, triple check the loot spec, yeah, good. Specifically doing this hoping for that staff. I want the Amber Weaver's Conduit to drop right now. And I want to see how long it's going to take to get. Pardon me. Community service. Giving back to the people. Oh my god, I felt so bad this morning. I did a normal scenario on a random character, and there was this level 68 Death Knight in there. And they were dying in a normal scenario to random mobs. And I look at their gear, and they're wearing like a mix of gear that makes me feel like they probably did the power leveling thing, and they probably didn't quite make it to 70. And now they're just in a normal scenario getting absolutely moitered by anything. Regular mobs, too. As a blood DK. Just because of the scaling, and then because of having like no gear, and they didn't like have gems in a bunch of slots and stuff. And I felt a little bad because I was like, what if they watched my video and something went wrong? And they didn't quite make it to 70, because that is the trouble, is if you don't make it to 70 doing the power leveling thing, your character is made of nothing. They are not very geared. It's a real curve trying to get them caught up. Had that happen yesterday. Do these guys drop loot? Yeah, they do. Got to 69 in a Destro Warlock. I had a warrior get to 69, but it was like 69 and 99%. And it was also my own fault because there was a raid XP thread, a 12% XP thread that I hadn't looted that was still stuck in my mailbox somehow. If I had been more careful, I would have picked it up first and then I would have been fine. Do you play Remix because you enjoy it or because it's an easy way to get missing mounts in transmog? I think it's hard to separate those two. I think one of the reasons that I enjoy it is because it is an easy way to get transmog. There's not... I think that the reward system is kind of tied into the fabric of the game, but it's fun to run around and be super fast and be super strong. It's satisfying to have put in some work to get to that point in this character and to feel it pay off. Kind of going from being a fresh 70 that wasn't doing any damage to finally getting fully upgraded and feeling a lot stronger was really fun. No luck on this weapon just yet. Of course, you need to get lucky and get a weapon to drop, and then you need to get the right weapon to drop. But I guess I'm answering my own question of how long you can expect it to take for the greens. You can upgrade green quality gear, and then if you later get a blue piece you would rather use, you only have to pay 5% of the old upgrade fee to get it caught up. It does still add up to something later on, but I was just upgrading whatever I had, and then I would catch up better pieces as I picked them up. Blues are nice because they have your primary stat on them, but item level is king, so if you don't have a blue piece and you can't get one, don't leave that one slot. You can't leave that one slot. You'd have to get it upgraded to upgrade the rest of your stuff anyways. Hi, Hazel and chat. Hello! Will the cloak disappear, become unusable, but still exist? I think they're just going to stick us in a set of template gear. I think that you're going to lose all your remix specific gear, and you're going to get put into some template starter gear. It was somewhere in the range of, what, 600,000 bronze to upgrade a whole gear set all the way to 476? Was that correct? I forget the details. I was able to get about 1 upgrade level per day. I think it took me about 2 weeks of playing to get my gear fully boosted. The nice thing about questing is that you're guaranteed a gear piece. Well, I guess I am getting gear pieces. It's just not the right one. Why do I have a gun? I'm survival inspect. Why did I get a gun? I just want to make sure that I can. That's weird. I did get a gun to drop. That could be a problem. Open world you get for bow specs. Okay. Will quests force it to the right spec? I'm gonna try questing for a hot minute and see if that's better. Okay. Let's go this way. I don't want to have to hope for not just a weapon drop, but also one that's not a bow or a gun or a crossbow. I have the bows and guns and crossbows. Get a new mod, guessing it's whatever was reward in the past, hidden beneath the cash quest reward. Interesting. Yeah, there's only so many. There's only a handful of open world sourced items that I'm missing in general. There are a few. I've been continuing to get them from like random caches every now and then. Steps. Oh, there is also a bow I need, as well as a staff. We'll just quest here for a minute and see how it goes. Looks like there's a couple of two-handers, so I'll keep my loot spec survival. But you'd think that the quest will be quite fast to do now if I basically one-shot everything. And also move at like 200 and something % speed. Is she coming with me? Can she keep up with me? She vanished and it looked like she had another quest, but I guess not. This is going to be kind of fun. Even when my Trailblazer isn't procced, just the plus speed from my cloak makes me pretty fast. It's kind of fun. The nice thing about questing is that you're killing mobs as well. It's not going to be quite as fast as farming. But you do double dip a little bit. I guess the open world mogs are like the least impressive looking of all the mogs. But I'm not going to farm the raid mogs on other stuff. It's just not going to happen. There must be somebody that's like committed enough to do that, to like make a bunch of characters and then gear them up or like get them carried to the level that they're going through the higher levels of the raids and stuff. I don't know. I don't got it in me. Best of luck to you. Guys, I'd say, well, I'll just hope that they add an arsenal, and then if they don't, then oh well. But like, if that's my strategy, then what am I doing out here? Druid only? Getting the last 4 mogs from LFR Throne is bad enough. Oh, I forgot about LFR. I need something from LFR Throne too. No. Getting loads of gear, just not quite the stuff that I'm after. DH and Remix goes especially nuts. Yeah, I've seen some things. Man, I got the rifle again. Did it all for Lock and Rogue, missing 2 bows for Hunter and a lot on Warrior. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Oh no. Not the 10-second cooldown on the flare. Can I? Yes, I can. Okay. It's okay, they walk through the flare. Can I use a regular Hunter flare, actually? I can use a regular Hunter flare. Okay, now we're in business. Now we're talking. I guess I can kind of sort of just get right on top of him. That's a bit miserable. Hazel, what is the plan if WoW servers shut down? Oh, man. Well, the first thing we need to do is get to the muster point. And call an assembly. Team meeting. We need to get to the bottom of what happened. It just sounds like a terrible Netflix exclusive show where a pack of people journey across the post-apocalyptic North America to make it to Blizzard server rooms to find out if we can unplug and plug them back in. See if they need us to, like, blow some dust out of there. Bring some compressed air. Yeah, quest. Any luck? No. I'd say it's good bronze, but coming off of heroic rates, it's kind of hard to justify that. Prefer separated bags. Yeah, me too. I use combined bags in Classic because I finally caved in because organizing my bags in Classic was really getting to me. But I still like using separate bags for retail. I like the default bag sorting where you like assign bags to various things. I like having my auto sort to consumes and gear. I'm sure add-ons do it fancier and better, but I'm just, I don't know, curmudgeonly about it. Why am I picking up their limbs? Oh, we're examining their poison glands, I see. We're not, like, gonna use them as building materials. Heal injured guards. Where'd they go? I'm almost done for the day. It's a beautiful summer day. A Wednesday. We read The War Within short stories. I haven't read any of them. I should. You like them? Recommend? What do you recommend Fresh 70s do? In Remix or Dragonflight? Because in Remix, it depends on if you want to gear up that character or not. You might want to just give it up and start an alt and level another character for more bronze. Or if you're going to gear it up, then you want to start doing your daily quests, your daily queues, random scenario dungeon, heroic normal with daily quests. Get your gear upgraded until you feel like you can get into bigger and bigger raids. But yeah, early on, it's a good place to start by doing world boss kills every day. And then your daily quest. That'll get you some bronze to start working with to get your gear upgraded. I need to be healing the guards, which means I need to be noticing the guards. The injured ones. There's one. I thought that was the second one that I did. Did my first one get re-injured and I lost credit? You heal him, but he immediately trips on his own feet, gets crushed by a vending machine, and then all of a sudden the quest is like, you know what? You didn't really do it. I've received 5 pairs of pants. I'm looking for weapons. Weapons. You don't need to do the reps in Panda Remix. They are sometimes helpful ways to work on the meta achievement. There's meta achievements for each zone that give cool cosmetics, and reps are one thing that you can do to contribute towards that. If you want anything from the rep, you can... doing the rep they're buffed mainly. Most of them are buffed, so it's an easier place to get them, and then in the War Within, when all our reps merge, you'll get the highest rep on your account as your new rep, so you could then use that to do your shopping and stuff. But I haven't really gone out of my way to do all of them. Once I got my zone achievements, I kind of stopped worrying about it. Especially if they're reps that you've like done before normally, there's not a huge incentive to do them again. Got all reps done except for Black Prince. I'm not sure what the Quartermaster situation is. I haven't really dug into it. You don't really get a lot of gold in Remix, so if you were trying to like buy a bunch of mounts for gold, you'd have a hard time, even if the vendors were in, and I'm not sure they all are. Yeah. I think the timeless coin vendor's in, so if you do show how rep and you want the Cloud Serpent, you could get that right away. Yeah, I'm sitting on 12k golden Remix right now. 25 is pretty impressive. Okay, I want to finish this quest, open up the 3 caches we'll get for turning these in, and then see if we can hopefully get lucky, and then look into wrapping up for today. It's so funny watching these guys like stand up and then be like, you know what, never mind, I am injured, and then sometimes they'll just fall over again on their faces. Okay. I don't think that counted. Pandas are so dramatic when they die. Cloak only has +6 armor on it. That is totally normal. You're not going to get armor. Your cloak isn't going to get buffed with armor. As you continue to get more threads, it'll kind of scale up. But my cloak only has 147 armor rating on it. Your main cloak power, if you mouse over your Time Runner's Advantage buff, that's showing you what your cloak is giving you. And that should have some stats on it. It won't be on your cloak when you mouse over it here. It'll be on the buff, your Time Runner's Advantage buff. That's where your cloak stats will be. Looks like a dragon face. I was a little confused when I first saw it. There we go. That's what we're after. Have you experienced the Alliance starting bug where you get teleported back to the Skyfire ship over and over? I have not. I haven't. This is the first time I've been questing in a while. I'd been doing just dungeons mainly on alts for a while. Dungeons and raids. I still have that poor mage. Actually, there's another place where I can get some bronze to spend. Is that Primrosy, my mage that I was leveling. Did I really not get? No, just a bunch of gear. All right. That mage I was leveling. I'll take a look at her. She had some bronze. And she's not done leveling yet. I can't just leave her at like level 50 something or else she'll be level 50 forever. Okay. Take her. I'll just leave her right here. That's fine. Pretty quick to get her up. You'd think. I started her before I started doing the leveling cheese, and I haven't leveled cheeselessly. You know. I haven't leveled without cheese since. I want to level her because she's my only panda. I don't have any other panda bears. And she's a cute panda bear. Look at her. She's got little butterfly wings. Her staff has been dipped in goop. I wonder how much bronze she has. I feel like I was waiting to spend it until I got fully leveled to 70. I feel like I didn't want to spend any of it. Yeah, she's got 24k just on her. She's also got rested for all the good that'll do me. Oh, man. Poor Blossombringer Primrosy. We were going so strong. I think the answer here is Fluby Carry. It indeed might be. Okay, I am wrapping up for today, but I'll be back tomorrow morning for another stream. Fresh, bright, early 9 a.m. Pacific. We stream 9 to 12, Wednesdays through Sundays. So we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.